Auzu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Dear students, today I am going to discuss with you the working of human heart, and I have chosen this topic from 7th class science. First of all, let me tell you about something about heart. Human heart is a muscular organ having four chambers, two auricles and two ventricles, or we may say right atrium. You can see it here. This is right atrium and this is left atrium. In the meanwhile, we have right ventricle and left ventricle. The auricles and the ventricle, they do not coincide with each other. They are separated by a septum, or we may call it as a dividing wall. Dear students, human heart, this is the pumping organ of our body. It pumps blood to all parts of the body. The right auricle of human heart receives deoxygenated blood from the superior vena cava, or we may call it as precava. In the meanwhile, this deoxygenated blood finds its way into the right ventricle. Here you may see in the right ventricle, where from this is pumped through pulmonary arteries towards lungs. In lungs, this blood gets oxygenated by the process of diffusion. Dear students, you must be well acquainted with the process of diffusion, that it is the passage of gases from a region of higher concentration to the region of lower concentration. As all of us know that gases, they tend to move from a region of higher concentration to the region of lower concentration. Same is the case with that of lungs. In lungs, we have air sacs, or we may call them as alveoli. They are filled with oxygenated blood. As we inhale, we take in oxygenated blood that finds its way into the alveoli of our lungs. And in the lungs, when deoxygenated blood reaches through pulmonary arteries, then there is diffusion. The deoxygenated blood, or the impure blood, it is separated. It separates carbon dioxide and oxygen is dragged in. This oxygenated blood is carried back through pulmonary veins and the secretion is poured into the left auricle of human heart. From left auricle, this oxygenated blood, here is the left auricle. From left auricle, the oxygenated blood goes into the left ventricle, and from left ventricle, it is somewhat thicker than right ventricle. Then from left ventricle, this oxygenated blood, it is pumped through aorta to all parts of the bodies. Dear students, let me add to your knowledge that precava and postcava, these are the two biggest veins of our body. Precava, it collects deoxygenated blood from the upper reaches of our body, and postcava, it collects deoxygenated blood from the lower reaches of our body. Let me add more to your knowledge that arteries, they always carry oxygenated blood, but there is an exceptional artery that's called as pulmonary artery. Pulmonary artery, it carries deoxygenated blood and it arises from heart and goes towards lungs. Then veins, they carry impure blood or deoxygenated blood, but in our body there is an exceptional vein that's called as pulmonary vein, which carries oxygenated blood, and its origin is from lungs towards heart. Now, dear students, today we studied about functions of working of human heart. Now, let me repeat once again. Human heart is a muscular organ having four chambers. The upper two chambers are called auricles and lower two chambers are called as ventricles. The right auricle of human heart receives deoxygenated blood through precava and post cava. This deoxygenated blood finds its way into the right ventricle as I just showed you, in the right ventricle, and from right ventricle this blood it is pumped through this route, or we may call as pulmonary artery, towards lungs. In lungs there is diffusion and it gets oxygenated from lungs. The oxygenated blood is carried back through pulmonary veins and is lowered into the left auricle. From left auricle, this blood finds its way into left ventricle, where from it is pumped through aorta to all parts of the body. This was all about the working of human heart. I hope whatever has been taught to you from my part, you will have definitely understood. Inshallah, in the next chapter, I'll be discussing with you composition and functions of blood. Till then, Allah Hafiz. Assalamu alaikum.